Okay, reading it, they say there's real numbers A, B, and C. They're all non-zero. Each of the following quadratic equation has repeated real roots. Now, if it has repeated real roots, I want to point out the discriminant. Let me write down the discriminant for you. So if you have a quadratic like this over here, and the discriminant would be big B squared minus 4AC. Now, if you have repeated real roots, this would have to be 0. All right? So what I want to do is write that down now. So I'm going to write down for the first one, this one over here. Well, let's see. B squared would be little b now, right? Minus 4, little a, little c would have to be equal to 0. So I'm just going to say that b squared has to equal 4ac. So let's do this one. They all say it has repeated roots. What does that mean? Its discriminant is 0. What's that going to be? That's going to be c squared, let's see, minus 4 times the coefficient of square term b times the constant term, which is a. And again, for that to be equal to 0, it means they're equal. Now, looking at these two over here, there's a lot of things you could do with it, by the way. But I think probably the easiest thing to do is just maybe multiply them together. And what would you get? B squared times c squared is equal to 16. Let's see what you get. You would get a squared, and then you get, let's see, bc. Now, I want to point out b and c are not equal to 0. So what I can do is divide both sides by bc now. And what do you get there? bc equals 16a squared. Now, I'm not saying I know what b or c is or what a is at this point, but I got a bunch of things down, all right? Question is, what's their real question? Their question is, let's read that to you. How many real roots does that have? I don't know. Let's take a look at it. And the way I'm going to do that is quadratic formula. And I'm going to say x equals, let's see, twice a, so 2c, the opposite of a. I'm looking at this over here, by the way. Plus or minus, wow, it's going to be a squared minus 4 times c times b. Well, it's going to look pretty unusual, doesn't it? I want to claim, though, that I think I'm seeing something now. I think I'm seeing this thing as might be somewhat helpful. All right? And I'm going to write this down now. X equals minus a plus or minus. I get 2c. This is still a root problem. A squared. Remember, a is a real number. I just don't know what it is at this point. Minus 4. Well, now I got cb. cb and bc are the same thing. And that's going to be 16a squared. Let's keep moving. What do you get up here? X equals minus a plus or minus. Well, that's going to give me 1a squared minus 64. So it's minus 63a squared over 2c. What do I know? I know that minus 63a squared. Let's go back and make sure we know that, by the way. They're non-zero numbers. This has got to be a negative number. And why is that? They're real numbers. A is not 0. When you square a, it's going to be a positive number, and that's going to be a negative number, minus 63. So what's over here? This is going to be complex. All right? So let's go back to the question. And how many distinct real roots? It doesn't have any real roots, so it's going to be 0. The correct answer would be A. And we're done. Thank you.